Have you ever felt like people from your past were just trying a little too hard to prove that they're thriving without you? Because that's what I want to talk about today. Let's talk about what that really says about you and what it ultimately says about them. Because trust and believe, it says a lot. Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing well, taking care of yourselves, and feeling absolutely blessed. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. So, today's topic is all about how the act of trying to shit on someone is the biggest contradiction. And if you clicked on today's video, it's because you have been through situations like this. So, before we get into this, go ahead, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. And girl, make sure that you hit that notification bell because you're going to want to stay up to date on everything that I post. In my personal experience, whether it was a friend or a lover and the relationship would just end or we'd literally fall out and leave on bad terms, they would either try to replace me, which that's cute because I'm one of one, or they would try to go through this whole glow up and become a completely different person and remake their identity, rebrand themselves. Or the absolute worst is that they would try to get ahead of the situation by spreading a false narrative about what really happened, trying to paint me in the worst light. And let me tell you, it was disappointing every single time. So let's kind of break down the psychology, I guess, put my little psychologist hat on, but let's really dig into why people do this, because I always find personally that they are overcompensating for something. Okay. And, we are all very familiar with the term, who won the breakup.
Hey, for me.
Oh, honey, that dress just paid for itself. Big is gonna see this and die.
I want him to die.
Oh, cut the shit. It's me.
And I think that really comes from the need to try to save face and prove that you weren't the reason why things didn't work out. So whether they betrayed you or they gossiped about you, they hurt your feelings, I find that when people go out of their way to try to shit on you, to try to one up you, it is to protect their ego from the truth. And that truth being is that they did you wrong. In some way, shape, or form, they hurt you, they did you wrong. And in trying to overcompensate or save face or present themselves in a way to make them look better than you, this is protecting their ego from realizing that they lost someone of value. Because that's always what it's about. It's about proving how valuable and special they think they are in hopes to dim your light, in hopes to devalue you. And no matter how hurtful the situation was and the actions that they took against you, it is doing nothing but highlighting the impact that you had on their lives and how much your presence is missed. Because in the choices that they are making, they are showing you that they are recognizing your value and that you had brought certain things to the relationship that they not only took for granted, but they clearly hadn't experienced before because they mishandled you, right? So the fact that somebody would take out the time to put in so much work to shit on you is a testament to your character and how well you treated them. And I think that in the healing process and finding a way to move on, this is what should give you peace of mind. This is what should give you a sense of comfort, is to know that they are scrambling to try to keep their ish together, right? They are scrambling to try to look like you were the weaker half. And this is where the contradiction comes into place, because if you fell out with somebody, right, and you ended on bad terms, you remember the friendship or the relationship as something that was really valuable to you. You put a lot of time, love, energy, all the TLC, all the goodness into that situation and did your best to show up as the greatest version of yourself that you could, and things still ended poorly. And instead of that person then moving on with their life and being like, okay, I don't really like you much anymore, but I mean, I guess, have a good life, whatever. And they just mind their own business and move on. Instead of doing that, they turn right back around to try to do everything in their power to look like they are just this awesome person, to try to act like your relationship had no effect on them, that that you were holding them back. You know what I'm saying? And that they are running themselves ragged, like putting in the type of energy that they never put in when you guys were dating or when you guys were best friends or whatever. They never had this type of energy for themselves and for their own lives because you were probably you were probably bringing up the rear a lot of the time, right? Now all of a sudden they have all this energy to like become a new person and make all these new great friends that are so much better to them than you were. Like that's all for me? Like you're putting on this big spectacle, making this big spectacle of yourself, putting on this big show to prove that I am nothing.
That was all for her?
To prove that I am not a great person. You know what I'm saying? What a big contradiction. Because if you were really that insignificant in this person's life, if you were really this big issue, then why are they dedicating so many man hours to prove that? Oh, wait. No, I was kidding. Oh, wait. But I'm serious. It's like you're proving how valuable I am by spending so much time, your time, to prove that I am just this not-ish person. I'm just this not shit person. And that I was holding you back and that now you're free to soar and your life just took off after our relationship ended. The math isn't mathing. Okay, walk with me. Ultimately, the biggest takeaway from experiences like this is to remain unbothered. And of course, it is easier said than done, especially if the wound is fresh. Okay? If the wound is fresh and you're still hurting and you're still pissed off and whatever, save this video, come back in a couple months. You'll be ready to hear this message then. But the importance of staying unbothered is because you know who you are. For me personally, when I went through these situations, it helped me to reflect on everything that I did right. Okay, everything that I did right to try and keep the relationship solid. Whether we are friends, whether we're dating, I will be your hype woman. Okay, I am the resident hype woman of the group. I am the motivational speaker. I'm very loyal. I have a huge heart. I am a shoulder to cry on. I give great advice. And I used to be, which was problematic for me and my mental health, but I used to be very self-sacrificing. So very selfless. And those are qualities, especially in today's world. Do not let people fool you into thinking that those type of characteristics are a dime a dozen. Like, you are not a dime a dozen. Okay? And I find that the more that you can remind yourself of that fact, it really helps you to find peace and to move forward. And, we're not putting halos over our heads, okay? Because nobody is perfect. And of course, even if, the way that you showed up in this relationship was great, but maybe you overextended yourself. Maybe you lacked boundaries. Maybe you just loved people too much to the point of clouding your judgment. You stopped seeing their flaws, or, you allowed them to, you turned a blind eye. Even if those were your shortcomings, those are still things that you need to reflect on so that these dynamics are not repeated in the future. How did you contribute to the situation? How did you contribute to this relationship? What was your part in it? Because I found that it wasn't even that I needed to erase certain characteristics of myself. It was that these parts of who I was needed to evolve so that I could be a more healthy version of myself and create better, long lasting relationships. So, as I'm coming to the end of this video, I really wanted to leave you guys with those takeaways because it can feel very invalidating to go through this type of scenario because sometimes people are, I don't want to say people are successful in shitting on you, but sometimes what I want to say is that people can be successful in creating the illusion. And so when we are, getting triggered by the illusion that people in our past are painting, we need to remember who we are and who they are. And that this is a show. This is a show for you, babe. This is a show for you. All right. So let's go ahead and get the quote of the day. And I'm going to send you guys on your way, of course. I hope that you guys have been enjoying the video so far. If you haven't liked the video already, go ahead and do that. And I will be back with the quote of the day. All right. Okay. I feel like it took me an eternity. To find this quote for y'all, but I did. Okay. I'm not sure who it's by. If I can figure it out, I will. But quote of the day: when you can't control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond. That's where your power is. All right. So there you have it. As always, y'all, I hope you found value from this video today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.